Member for Vieux-Fort North.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Some water for me. Mr. Speaker, I want to contribute on this. My contribution to this bill, Mr. Speaker, will add to what my colleagues have said. It is very important, Mr. Speaker, to have everyone understand that this Castries Constituency Council bill will significantly change how the Castries Constituency Council operates. It also establishes procedures for the establishment of a Castries City Police. And my colleague from Vieux-Fort South spoke eloquently about the concerns of members on this side and also his own concerns in relation to this. It is very easy every time, Mr. Speaker, when we raise our concerns for members opposite to simply laugh and papi show it. Mais moi voulais expliquer, Mr. Speaker, que ce qui a fait ici aujourd'hui, c'est le gouvernement voulait mener une loi 9 pour changer la manière ce constituency en Castries qu'a opéré. Ils voulaient faire qualité police force 9 pour City of Castries. Et nous avons chaque bagay qui nous a dit gouvernement qui ça a mené problème, ça a mené difficulté avec manière police Saint-Lucie qui a opéré en pays Saint-Lucie. Mr. Speaker, the member for Castries South spoke to the work that was done prior to 2016 on the amendments to the entire act which govern constituency councils around St. Lucia. I believe, Mr. Speaker, that this new Castries Constituency Council bill is another example of the way in which this government operates. It passes laws, brings bills to the parliament. Many of them, Mr. Speaker, simply reinforces the ways in which they have been managing the affairs of this country. Many of them illegally. The government has itself admitted in so many cases, Mr. Speaker, that they are not doing things the way that things are supposed to be done. The taxes on fuel, the way they handle the economic fund, Mr. Speaker. A while ago, the Prime Minister tried to explain, tried to dodge by saying that the monies are in the consolidated fund. And so this is another example of this government finding creative ways of legitimizing the wrongdoings over the last 2.5 years. Part 4 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, is very important to me. Sections 33 to 39 specifically relate to finance, and as such, monies to be paid into approved financial institutions. That part of the section is written there. Signatures on checks orders for payment, signature for receipts, payments, etc. in Part 4 of the bill, sections 33 to 39. Mr. Speaker, I continue as a Member of Parliament for Vieux-Fort North to have serious concerns about the operations of constituency councils. And what I see in this bill, in this Castries Constituency Council bill, the provisions give me no comfort that things will be different, Mr. Speaker. C'est expérience là moins années comme membre parlement Vieux-Fort North en affaires council avec manière gouvernement qui a fait l'argent passer flou ces council là pour faire ça au vle ces constituency là. Ça ka trois casser moi toujours, Mr. Speaker. And while I will speak to the issues of the Castries Constituency Council, I will relate that to the Vieux-Fort North Council. I will speak to issues of the past as they relate to the councils. And I will bring you, Mr. Speaker, to current issues, issues of last week that demonstrate that this government is not ensuring that the loopholes that exist in constituency councils are blocked. Or in fact, they may well be encouraging it. Mr. Speaker, for years, the concerns that constituency councils allow their processes, whether deliberately or naively, to be channels for improper activity, this bill does not address that concern. We have complained about it. I have been in this parliament going on 3 terms now, and every session we complain about it. We did something about it, Mr. Speaker, and the member for Castries South referred to what we did. Many times people say to us, "You're not talking about that. What did you do about it?" When that's what they shout from the other side. But we did something about it. And as I've said before, for many politicians and other leaders in the country, whether it be religious leaders or other leaders, it is when they go to their grave, a lot of people say, they did this and did that, they did this and did that. I have said over and over again that the former Prime Minister and member for Vieux-Fort South will go down in history, Mr. Speaker, as one of the leaders of our country who took concrete steps to fight corruption in this country, Mr. Speaker. And the results of his actions and the actions of his cabinet may come many years down the road. I wish that he is still with us when the results come. But concrete and direct actions were taken in the matter of the review of financial operations of town, village, and rural councils. Many people say, "Oh, vindictive, political." The Prime Minister especially likes to say that, as it relates to the case of the Soufrière Town Council and what I call Third World Gate. He likes to say vindictiveness and so on. But the results of those investigations may yet come to us. Mr. Speaker, I speak passionately about this because Vieux-Fort North was ground zero in these matters. Ground zero in these matters. And some of the same actors are still parading around playing fields, trying to mash up our fields at Grace and breaking down buildings in the Grace community to put the so-called lights. But, Mr. Speaker, there will be a day. There will be a day. Ladies, short haircut lady. But there will be a day, Mr. Speaker. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that even after what happened in Vieux-Fort North, in the matters of the Vieux-Fort North Council, in the years 2008, 2010, 2011, even after hundreds of thousands of dollars were deposited in the bank accounts of the Vieux-Fort North Council, never to be used in Vieux-Fort North. Even after that, we come back to this parliament to do what I believe is legitimizing some of these same things and making passage, making clear way for them to happen again. I do not see remedies in this new bill for what happened to us and what happened in other councils. Mr. Speaker, even today, I sit in the meetings when I can attend. I must say, I've been invited. I sit in the meetings of the council, the Vieux-Fort North Council today. And no matter how much the clerk of council warn and plead and beg for certain procedures to be followed, some of the same things continue to happen. And I heard the member for Castries South saying, talking about projects that never came through the council. Today, it is happening in Vieux-Fort North. And my advice, when I go to those meetings, to the clerk and to other councillors who may be concerned, my advice is always that they put their opposition in writing. Write to the PS, write to the accounting officers, write to the accountant in the ministry. Because at the end of the day, if in this, what I see in this Castries Constituency Council bill, the remedies that should be in there, if they are not there, at the end of the day, is every single councillor will be held accountable. Mr. Speaker, there needs to be in this bill mechanisms that ensure that the people's money, that they do not continue to make papi show with the people's money. And there are current issues, Mr. Speaker. You can see very clearly that through the councils, just as we are warning about what is in this bill, you can see very clearly, and I have a very real living example in Vieux-Fort North. You can see very clearly how the maneuverings are happening because the sitting parliamentarian is not a member of the government. And you can see clearly what is happening. Bus shelters are repaired, not taken to the board, to the council. And when members are asking questions, certain people in the council are giving all kinds of explanations, only to find out that the bus shelter that they repaired is not in Vieux-Fort North. Yes. Playing fields, money is being given to cut grass on playing fields. A total of almost $46,000. And interestingly, the grass playing field, which was graded, sand dumped on it because one little lady who says she's powerful just mashing up things. And you know what? The invoice that was sent for cutting the grass on the playing field, but there's no grass on the playing field. These are the kinds of things that are happening, Mr. Speaker. And that ain't no hesse, because I go to the meetings. Projects are happening in the constituency. Nobody tells me. But I'm not grudging that because that's what happens, Mr. Speaker. The candidate who went up against me and lost is the one giving the most SSDF bursaries around. But those things, we will deal with it on the ground. Look, I deal with it on the ground now. The candidate who ran against me is the one getting most bursaries from SSDF and other government agencies. And I'm the sitting parliamentarian in Vieux-Fort North. The matters in the council, these same concerns we are raising about the Castries Constituency Council bill are alive and well today. Now, if I can tell you that about Vieux-Fort North, far less the other constituencies. It's a perfect vehicle for corruption. Perfect. And I have said to them, Madam Clerk, record your concerns. Send it to the PS. And they are trying all kinds of things to get their people in the government to get her fired. But if it happens, it will happen because she stood her ground, and the whole world will know. So when we raise concerns like this, Mr. Speaker, this is not about Hesse. This is not about Hesse. What is interesting, Mr. Speaker, is these things are happening even when parliamentarians are involved in advising against those kinds of practices. How councils treat workers. Almost tearing up the labor code. Because for many of them, it is a vehicle. It is a vehicle for victimization. It is a vehicle to ensure that the member of parliament, the sitting member of parliament, who's not in the government, knows what day it is. And they don't mind breaking all kinds of laws. And so, Mr. Speaker, my concern really is section 33 to 39, sections 33 to 39, about the responsibility of the government to ensure that those constituency councils have the required safeguards. Je veux dire, Mr. Speaker, avant moi, Acide, qui, ça fait council là, c'est un qui sérieux. Avec moi, savent qui a dans chaque ces council là, gouvernement, c'était un projet qu'a fait en ces communes qui, même parlement, même si il verti, même si même parlement parlait, qui c'est projet ça là pas qu'à fait manière yo supposé fait comme loi. Et nous ni combien exemple. Et monsieur Speaker, moi ça dit moi ka parler comme ça parce que en Vieux-Fort Nord nous souffert bagay ça là et c'est pour ça gouvernement là nous en gouvernement la tenir opération qui garder avec toutes ces chèques là avec toute bagay qui garder qui manière c'est bagay ça opérer. Avec méditerranéen en anglais, en chaque monde c'est là mort. Moun ka dit yo te fait bien. Mais non même parlement Vieux-Fort South. Peut-être c'est les bon Dieu couillé. Adam moun ka du bouton les pulpit en l'hôtel et tout partout elle dit il fait this, il fait that. Mais avant il m'a ka dit il c'est yon c'est moun nan qui du bout et fait un bagay. Pour ces corruptions, nous t'ai dit là, des corruptions, pour faire une recherche, pour trouver ces documents qui ont pas ça dit au menti. Avec documents ça là, un côté à présent, qui peut-être, à combien l'année qu'a venu, moun ka ni pour répondre. Comme ça c'est un bail qui sérieux. Avec les mois aller en meeting council Vieux-Fort Nord, moi j'ai toujours verti que toute action ces council là, toutes ces actions yo kay responsable pour ces actions pas koyo. So, les yon gouvernement avec l'autre vini, ça pas veut dire ou pas responsable pour ces actions ou faire là ou c'est un conseil là. Ça important. Avec moi te dit aussi Mr. Speaker qui en Vieux-Fort Nord là ni comme exemple, j'ik toujours. Là ni moun qui ka coupé zèbre les plain field avec yo kay bay nous combien de temps en les affaires plain field. Yo vini croiser plain field nous angoisse. Di yo ka mette terre nous tenir bon plain field. Oui nous te brisé light c'est différent bagay. M'a jamais dit ces jeunes moun pas brisé. Mais yo croiser plain field là, seul grounds ball nous te ni ka jouer là. Yo croiser yo gradely toute belle zebni, yo croiser un building qui était là. Les comités a dit yo pas bay la clair là, ni ti madame qui match et qui yo croisé bagay là avec Moun a besoin ka claim l'argent qui yo coupe zeb le Plainfield Gwas là. Mais Plainfield la pas ni Gwas, Plainfield la pas ni zeb. Où je m'étonne ça? C'est maman Belleville en Belleville. Yo gen gas pour Widita yo coupe zeb là yo même. Mais là ni combien invoice qui vini? $6,000, $7,000 ka di yo coupe fil zeb le fil Belleville. Bon, chay moun peut-être ka di c'est pas pichot. Why are you bringing that in here? Why are you bringing that? The reason we are bringing it is because those little capillaries lead to veins and aortas of corruption. That is why. And if it is happening when I sit at the council meetings, far less what is happening around the place. So, je got toujours dit, claque councilor, qui c'est councilor, ça dit ça yo vle, mais c'est lui qui est responsable en gouvernement. Et qui ça y a avec vous, ben permanent secretary. Yo ka try regarder si yo sa faille, Mr. Speaker. Mais si yo faille, pour ça y a fait douette, ça y a un lot story. Because tous ces documents ka mouche ko moun cacher l'argent pour zeb qui pas ni pièce zeb les pièces plein fili là. So I want to say to you, Mr. Speaker, that those things are very important. And the member for Castries South indicated that litigation is increasing because there are times, even when the opposition speaks to a matter where there is clear evidence that something needs to be done to the procedure, it is rubbished. It is rubbished because it's always upmanship. And while, Mr. Speaker, we know there needs to be, we need to have changes and we need to move on, a government needs to implement its program, I want to say that this Castries Constituency Council Act, in my opinion, does not guarantee the people of St. Lucia that their finances will be secured. Pour moi, c'est un porte qui a ouvert pour corruption. Parce que chaque bagay gouvernement ça a fait. DSH horse race, toute qualité bagay, toute bagay, airport. Là, regardez toutes ces bagay là, ils ont fait. Où ça déchiré, avec déchelé, avec gardé, avec ouais. C'est bagay moun pour bénéficier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.